So everybody is discussing it. The very simple reason. This particular tax is impacting everybody. 90%, more than 90% of the world population. Everybody is paying taxes. Whether a small person, whether a beginner, whether a small person, industrialist, whosoever, as a customer, everybody is paying this indirect tax. So friends, to start with, let me put forward certain thoughts before going deep into this GST things. So these are the thoughts. To start with, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a one step. So friends, this is the one step which we are going with. And another one is the only limitation that is which one sets up one's own mind. The idea is कि like if most of the people as a consultant may not be working in that particular forte. But when they understand that okay, we have to do working in that particular area or we have to go with the GST and it will set this into our mind, then obviously there is no problem adopting GST as a tax reform, So the third one is alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. The idea of doing this workshop is not a one person cannot do much. Obviously, when it becomes a group, then the thought process will come out and we'll discuss and interact so that we can come out of the solutions which this particular tax is going to impact us on the business processes. So the last one, the one of the main world known, the richest person of the world, Bill Gates, once says, there is no doubt that as an economy grows in a great way like India has, that you have to step back and change your tax systems. So why it is a need for changing the tax system? We will understand during our discussions why there is a need. We are discussing the tax reform since long. And world over, there is a demand from the industry, there is a demand from the world community, the world businessmen, like for doing business in India, it is not very easy to do business in India. So we just try to see what type of tax reforms we are doing and what is there which is not in the present tax regime, which is there in the GST. So with this concept, we will start our day. So the first thing is like, what is basically the target audience of this workshop? So when I am just planning this workshop, so I am just trying to find out who are the target audience. The target audience, obviously the one who are the young professionals and want to come into this forte or practice in indirect taxation. The second one, the other professionals who were being working since long, not as an indirect tax practice, but they are into the other practices. And without indirect tax practice, or without understanding the nitty-gritties of the indirect tax, any professional cannot do practice in this. Friends, believe me, this is really a great opportunity for all the professionals to enter into this, all our accountants who are working with the industry to understand this particular concepts, so that because it is not there in India, it is spreading all over the world. This concept is spreading all over the world. So this is those persons, and the people who are working for the businesses, obviously who are working for the organizations, and other people who are doing businesses, obviously. So one person is doing a business, any type of business, the retail business, the dealer, the manufacturing, the importer, until unless he know the nitty-gritties of this particular taxation, he may not be able to survive. He may not be able to survive because there's so much planning involved into this particular tax, because everything is open. There's certain rule based, but out of these rules, you can plan your affairs in such a fashion you can gain out of it. We will see into our forthcoming sessions. So honestly, कि for those who are experts, we need to learn from them. So, and I mean, the experts who are working on this, we obviously need their experience to learn as a group. So this is the target audience with which I am working on this particular workshop. Now, as you know, this workshop is being divided into 10 sessions, and in all these 10 sessions, we are nearby mostly almost completing the complete act, rules of GST, which are there. Fortunately for us, discussing GST at this time is one very important thing. The GST now becomes act. So there is nothing whether this will happen, whether this will happen, whether this is certain, whether this is not certain. So today, we are very sure there is nothing, something will happen or something will not happen. It will happen. The law is there in place. Just day before yesterday or on 12th of April, the law is there. So in these 10 sessions, we will be covering the complete act. This rule is already with you. So today, we are covering these things. So the takeaways of today, when we'll go complete this particular session of today, so we should know this thing. What is the GST worldwide, around the globe? What is the GST experience around the globe? And GST journey in India, and what is the current status? So current status I have already told you, like it is now act, and we are very soon going to implement it in India. The next is, what is the GST constitutional amendment bill? GST important concept, certain important concept. Day in, day out, we are listening CGST. Even my small girl is also knowing what is CGST, what is SGST, and what is IGST. So GST is all about, we'll see what type of concepts are there. And see, to begin with, we will have some general definitions which will pave a way for starting a GST part. So friends, without going much into all those things to the GST, let me first discuss certain points which we are doing right now. As far as indirect tax is concerned, so simply अगर हम indirect tax को बोलते हैं तो indirect tax means tax imposed by the government to be paid or to be borne by the customers through the various business entities by the help of we people. By the help of we people. So there are four things. There are four stakeholders into this. One is the government, second is the customer. Government is the ultimate gainer, customer is the ultimate bearer. And in between there are two intermediaries. One is the business entities, various business entities, and the consultant or the who are working with the industry, how this has to be implemented. So in a current situation with this indirect tax, we are just trying to understand with a very simple example what we are doing today. Let's take a very simple example. Like A is a manufacturer, or A is a manufacturer, he is selling goods in the same state in which he is manufacturing. Like A is a manufacturer and B is a dealer. So A is selling goods to the B and B is selling to the customer. Just this simple transaction, anything. So indirect tax, there are two concepts. One is goods and another is services. So first we'll talk about the goods, then we'll go to the services later on, because the services will definitely come very late in this indirect tax regime. So in the goods, if one is manufacturing, so what type of duties he is imposing? He is imposing excise duty on manufacturing, and also when he sells these goods to the dealer, so he is also charging VAT, and this VAT and excise duty will transfer to the dealer. So what this dealer is doing? So dealer is again adding his profit into it and selling it to the customer. And what he is charging? He is charging only VAT. So customer at the end is not knowing what is the component into the buying price is the excise component. He's not knowing as now he's not knowing. So the central excise which is to be paid by the manufacturer is charged to a dealer. The customer is not knowing about this thing. The customer is knowing only when we'll go to a mobile shop and ask for the mobile. So there is a 5% tax, or a computer shop, there is a 5% tax, but we are not knowing what is the excise, what is the other tax component in these things. So when we'll talk about the goods, there is a source of goods. The source of goods is either from the manufacturing or importing out of India. These is the only two sources of goods. Either we are manufacturing it in our country, and we are importing it into our country. So when we are manufacturing in our country, so there is a tax called excise duty which is to be imposed on the manufacturing of this thing. And when we are importing it, then we are paying the custom duty, which is for the cross-border tax imposition, which is nothing to do with, though it is an indirect tax, but it is not directly involved into this regime, because this has been done for some World Trade Organization also. So for this excise, in lieu of excise, we are also adding one component that will call the CVD, countervailing duty. In lieu of excise, we are imposing countervailing when we are importing goods, countervailing duties. And there is another component is special additional duty. This said in lieu of VAT. So when goods is originating, one source is excise duty, second source is excise duty, the CVD in lieu of excise duty, and VAT said in lieu of VAT. So friends, the first example is that of the manufacturer who is selling in the same state to a dealer, and dealer is selling to the same state to a customer. So now we'll move on the another example. We are just trying to understand the present system, how it is being designed, and what are the problems into this. So the first problem which we foresee is the customer who is buying goods is not known the complete taxes he is paying. So there is no transparency at the customer level what taxes he is paying. The second thing starts from, if we'll go to an interstate, one state to another state. So we'll go one state to another state. There is another component. If a manufacturing something and selling it to the dealer in the other state. So what he's doing, he's charging excise duty, obviously, basic cost, excise duty, and on this basic cost plus excise duty, he's charging which component? CST. If he's selling to a interstate dealer, he's charging CST. CST on what? Basic price plus excise duty, he's charging CST. And whether this CST is convertible or input credit we can claim. No, we cannot claim input credit. So this is adding to the cost. So whenever this transaction is moving from one state to another state, there is a cascading effect of taxes, or we can say a tax on taxes, because VAT is chargeable on excise. And interstate there is a tax on tax, and also the cascading effect, because this CST is not VATable. And not VATable because it is adding into the cost. So the poor customer is paying multiple taxes at the end level. He is paying excise duty, he is paying CST because of we can call a originating tax, originating state tax, जहाँ से origin हो रहा है, उस state के tax को हम CST कह सकते हैं अभी, for the easy understanding. And the tax imposed by a state in which the goods is being consumed. So there are three things he is paying. So let us talk about in the other example. So other example, let us talk about the service provider. So if a service provider is providing some services, now before coming to the services, let me take another example on goods also. Like if we are importing goods and selling it to either to a manufacturer or to a dealer. If I am importing goods, so there are two things involved into this CVD in lieu of excise duty, this SAD, special additional duty in lieu of VAT. So when he is selling to the manufacturer, then manufacturer can take credit of both the components. Manufacturer can claim credit of both the component, the CVD and SAD also. And when this manufacturer is further selling to a dealer or to a dealer, then obviously this is a SENVAT. This is SENVAT, central VAT, because these central taxes, the VATability is there, but it is not cross VATability. It is not a cross VATability. And if that importer is selling to a dealer, then obviously he is charging VAT on it, but he will not be entitled to input credit of the CVD component and also the SAD component. But if he is paying taxes into a state, then he can claim credit of this SAD component from the government. So VAT में जो VAT की जो SENVAT credit है, that is available, but the excise duty earlier he has to pay, and this time also he has to pay. So friends, as far as goods is concerned, we are very clear. Government is imposing. The government, we can define government in two governments. There is a central government and the state government. So central government in case of goods is imposing a excise duty when it is manufactured, the CVD when it is being imported in India. And that becomes the cost to the customer at any moment of time. And at the same time, and if this goods is being sold from the manufacturer to any processes, so VAT being involved into this, and that is a complete SENVATable, and it is a value addition tax. So value addition tax का concept आया था, कहाँ से आया था, किस तरीके से आया था, पहले हमारा क्या सिस्टम था, मतलब इन 3 एग्जाम्पल्स में अगर हम गुड्स की बात करें, क्योंकि सर्विसेज तो 1994 में आई है इंडिया में, 94 से पहले तो सर्विसेज थी नहीं. तो अगर मैं इस गुड्स और गुड्स की टैक्सेबिलिटी की बात करूं, अगर मैं कहता हूं बिफोर इंडिपेंडेंस और आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस. बिफोर इंडिपेंडेंस द एक्साइज लॉ वाज इनकॉर्पोरेटेड इन 1944. सो द टैक्स ऑन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इज देयर बिफोर इंडिपेंडेंस, and before independence these provinces tax were also there. And after independence, when our constitution will come into the picture, I am talking about the constitution and all those things just to give you a basic startup, okay, how we have to flow, okay, how the things are flowing. When the India becomes independent, जब हम independent हुए तो constitution हमारा बना. constitution में बिल्कुल separate power defined हुई कि भाई कौन से आर्टिकल्स हैं गुड्स के जिस पे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट टैक्स लगाएगी, कौन से हैं जिस पे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट टैक्स लगाएगी, एंड देयर आर सर्टेन आइटम्स ऑन विच बोथ कैन टैक्स. दैट यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड दिस कॉन्करेंट यूनियन लिस्ट in schedule 7 of the constitution. There is a union list on which the center has the right to levy taxes. There is an state list on which state has a right to levy taxes, and there is a concurrent list, both of them can levy taxes. So after independence, when this thing is being started, so the same thing is flowing from the previous before independence. Now we will take another example. The service tax is being introduced in 1994. So in 1994, service tax is being introduced. So I will just start the journey, how we have started with this background, with this common set of examples, real-time examples. We'll see where the journey in India started. So like this is a GST journey in India. In 1994, you must have know, like in 1991, there is a very big event happening. There is a globalization. There is the opening of the Indian economy. There is the opening of the Indian economy. The Congress government led by Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao and the finance minister by Dr. Manmohan Singh, they have started something which is a path-breaking events in 1991. So they have started globaling, लाइसेंस राज को खत्म करना, ये सारी चीज उन्होंने चालू की. तो इसके चालू होने का ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या था? ओपनिंग अप द डोर्स ऑफ इंडिया फॉर द बिजनेस कम्युनिटी आउटसाइड इंडिया. So with this opening up, the discussions of the indirect tax reform started. In 1994, the government appointed a committee under the leadership of Dr. Amresh Bagchi. This is a very, very famous report. Everybody should read this report to understand the background of the whole indirect tax systems. So my recommendation, so everybody should read this. It is available on the net, and this will give you a in-depth insight of the indirect tax systems which is there, which was there in the India and which is being there in the India. So in this first report, he has recommended something. On the basis of his recommendations, we have started. The first thing we will done in 1994 is the implementation of the service tax. It started with only 2 services, telephone, something like, and this is again a beginning of a new era in the indirect tax systems. So till now, only the goods was taxable, goods is being taxable, and after incorporation, the service tax is being taxable. So after this service tax, so now the world over, these goods and services being taxed from long. We will see when we'll discuss the word globe, what is this all happening. So after this Bagchi report, the government formed an empowerment committee on this tax reform under the leadership of Dr. Asim Das Gupta. That is, and after this Asim Das Gupta report, there is one Kelkar committee task force is also being appointed in 2004. And after in 2004, then there is another move of improvement or reforms in the indirect tax is in the state taxes. What is that? VAT is being replaced. VAT is being value added tax is being replaced with the sale tax, general sale tax of the state government, which we are imposing. Because initially what was happening, when some tax is being thought of, then the government, for the sake of simplicity, they are just doing it on an origin basis only. So origin पे tax कर दिया, उसके बाद में जितनी भी supply होती थी, they are not taxing those supplies. So after incorporation of this VAT regime, every stage of this tax becomes the multi-stage taxability. So multi-stage taxability में tax on every stage, and the same thing has been happened in the central excise also. Earlier there used to be a mode VAT, and now it becomes, sometimes it becomes sand VAT. So the central VAT, or this is VAT is only a state VAT. So both places the reforms are going on. Both places the reforms are going on. So what is left then? Why we are talking about GST? Or so then we'll see the other thing. So in 2006, Mr. P. Chidambaram, the then finance minister, first time during the budget deliberations talks about the term GST. So friends, अभी तो हम बहुत कुछ जानते हैं जीएसटी के बारे में, लेकिन उस समय एक बात कही गई थी कि भैया जीएसटी को एक इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स रिफॉर्म के रूप में जो गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज के लिए यूनिफॉर्मिटी लेके एक टैक्स लगाएंगे हम, जिसको हम जीएसटी कहेंगे. जीएसटी में वैल्यू एडिशन टैक्स है, ऑलरेडी इंक्लूडेड है जीएसटी में. सो वैल्यू एडिशन, वैट इज नॉट अ टैक्स, वैट इज बेसिकली अ कंसेप्ट. सो in 2006, the first time in the Indian Parliament, the term of GST is being come up for a discussions, and they have given some line like, okay, we will soon thought about the GST and implement it. In 2007, based on this presentation, the government again appointed a Partha Sarthi Shom as an advisor to the Union Finance Minister, and he put forward 6 challenges in implementation of GST. The first is issues relating to the constitutional provisions. Friends, जैसे हमने डिस्कस किया कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में राइट होते हैं वो यूनियन के पास कि यूनियन लिस्ट में कौन टैक्स लगाएगा गुड्स पे, और सर्विसेज का राइट भी यूनियन गवर्नमेंट को था टैक्स लगाने का, और स्टेट में हु विल इम्पोज टैक्स, मतलब ऑन विच गुड्स द स्टेट विल इम्पोज टैक्सेस. उधर से ले चल आ जाओ. Friends, Mrs. Vandana Chaudhary is with us. She is heading the taxation DTC Gurgaon range. Please, madam, welcome. So friends, when we are discussing the this constitutional provisions. So the tax can be levied with the authority of the constitution only. So he said that issues relating to the constitutions to be addressed. The next is the tax assignment, that is revenue sharing kaise hoga. Revenue sharing, friends, before just I will give you a concept of GST a bit. We'll discuss it a little bit. GST is basically called a uniform tax on goods and services to be levied by government and collected by the same government and to be distributed to the various beneficiaries in the state, in the government itself. Like the ideal GST is, the definition of ideal GST is something like one government impose and levy taxes and collected taxes, and out of this collection he will distribute these taxes to the states, so that there is no confusion between the between the other stakeholders, who will charge, what will charge, how it will be done, how the return to be filed. So this is a very simple concept at a uniform rate. So this is an ideal concept: uniform rate, uniform taxability, levy and collection provisions, and is to be collected by the one authority and to be divided between the other stakeholders. So this is the basic definition and the ideal definition of GST. So he is talking about the implementation of GST issue relating to constitution. Constitution में क्या जरूरत थी इस बात की कि भाई constitution में अभी तो यूनियन लिस्ट था, स्टेट लिस्ट था, स्टेट अलग लगाता था टैक्स, उनको राइट था, यूनियन को अलग राइट थे. तो जब तक अगर हम जीएसटी की तरफ जाना था, जब तक हम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में चेंज नहीं करेंगे तो वी कैन नॉट गो विद द जीएसटी. सो ही सेड के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजंस, टैक्स असाइनमेंट्स एंड रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग कैसे होगा? अगर टैक्स कलेक्शन होगा तो बिटवीन द स्टेक होल्डर्स रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग कैसे होगा? वो कहते हैं उसका कोई फॉर्मूला होना चाहिए. ओवरऑल लेवल ऑफ टैक्सेस क्या होने चाहिए, किस तरीके के टैक्सेस होने चाहिए, ओवरऑल लेवल क्या होना चाहिए, टाइप ऑफ रेट स्ट्रक्चर क्या होना चाहिए, भाई यूनिफॉर्म होना चाहिए या मल्टीपल रेट स्ट्रक्चर होना चाहिए तो किस तरीके के डिस्कशन लेके आते हैं. डेवलपमेंट ऑफ कॉमन मार्केट, कैसे कॉमन मार्केट डेवलप करें कि किसी भी स्टेट से दूसरे स्टेट में भेज दो लेकिन सीएसटी की मतलब टैक्स की कैस्केडिंग नहीं हो टैक्सेस का. एंड द सक्सेसफुल ऑपरेशन ऑफ द TINSIS system, मतलब that is he is talking about some system, some automated system like we are having GST in right now, कि without automation all these things cannot be possible. So he has just put forward these 6 challenges. Challenges means obviously it's a common name, कि like because of these things we are not able to migrate to think of the GST. So after that, again in February 2007, after this report, the government come board and he declared first time in the parliament, okay, we will implement GST, we should be ready with GST from 1st April, the first target date is being given, the first target date is 1st April 2010 in 2007. So government is gearing up this tax reform since long. And at this time in 2007, the government is saying that we will implement this tax reform in 2010. And till 2010, we are just referring it, and now in 2017, we are hoping, or we are absolutely certain, like we are going to see, this GST is going to see the light of the day. So in 2009, the Empowerment Committee, which has been formed in 2000, it will put forward a first paper, first document, the white paper, the concept paper of GST in 2009. Friends, this concept paper is also very, very important to read and understand what is the beginning of the GST as such. So this 2009, this concept paper, white paper issued by the Empowerment Committee, and after this white paper, there is another, because the Finance Commission has also given a report on this, these things start moving fast because the date of 1st April is coming closer. So 2009 वो आ गया, 2009 में फाइनेंस कमीशन ने भी डाल दिया. then came 2011. 2010 की डेडलाइन निकली तो गवर्नमेंट ने कहा कि भाई ठीक है, अभी हम रेडी नहीं हो पाए हैं, there are so many discussions, रेडी नहीं हो पाए हैं तो हम इसको 2000 आगे एक साल बढ़ाते हैं। तो उन्होंने उसको बढ़ाने के लिए अपना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में पहला स्टेप जो था, पहला चैलेंज था, उसको ओवरकम करने के लिए उन्होंने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट बिल डाल दिया। लेकिन 2014 में उनके इन स्पाइट ऑफ कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट के काफी एफर्ट्स के बाद में 2011 से 2014 तक बहुत ज्यादा कोई डिस्कशन नहीं हुआ नहीं, और उनकी सीरियसनेस भी कुछ इस तरीके की थी, शायद वो डिस्कशन नहीं हो पाए। एंड नाउ द थिंग्स अगेन started in full swing after the assumption of this office by the present government. Friends, the objective of discussion this whole journey is just to get you at a place where we are. So at this moment, as we have to remember these 6 challenges. So on the basis of these 6 challenges, you will see everything is being decided on the six part only. So now, in 2016, when this constitutional amendment bill started by the Congress government in 2011, lapsed in 2014, then this present government come up with a constitutional amendment bill again in 2015, December 15. That is a constitutional bill, and then the things start moving very, very fast. The first is a constitutional bill पास हुआ सितंबर 2016 में, उसके बाद में जीएसटी काउंसिल की फॉर्मेशन हुआ, उसके बाद में पब्लिक डोमेन में जून 2016 में एक ड्राफ्ट मॉडल जीएसटी बिल हमारे सामने, एक्ट हमारे सामने लाया गया। उसके बाद में नवंबर 2016 में अगेन एक एक्ट दोबारा लाया गया। So friends, here we are at this juncture. The bill is already been passed in the parliament, and there is no uncertainty as of now regarding the GST implementation here in India. So with this, now we will just give a thought-provoking things, ki what are the problems with the GST implementation and why it has taken so much time. So let me give you a glimpse of the discussions which were being holding since last long 16 years, around 15-16 years, कि क्या ऐसे इश्यूज थे जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट दोनों मिलके एक लॉ को लाना चाहते थे, और जो इतने समय के बाद में आया। उसमें सबसे बड़ा इशू तो एक इशू सबको पता होता है कि जब सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट अलग टैक्स लेती है, कलेक्ट करती है, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट अलग लेती है, तो हमारे यहाँ इंडिया में फॉर द पॉलिटिकल कंपल्सन्स, कोएलिशन गवर्नमेंट्स, रीजनल पार्टीज के इन्वॉल्वमेंट इतने ज़्यादा थे एक टाइम पे, तो इस तरीके के ड्राफ्टिंग जो चीज़ें लानी थी तो वो बड़ी मुश्किल हो रही थी। उनके सबसे बड़े कंसर्न्स स्टेट्स के ही होंगे। ऑब्वियसली सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इज फोर्सिंग टू कम विद द जीएसटी, but the state government is resisting. Why the state government is resisting? It is known to everyone. Just touch up few points. So state government said, okay, central says first, okay, we have a unified or the ideal GST. कहता हुआ forget about IGST. जैसे मोदी जी ने एक बार कहा था, GST is not possible in India. When he was chief minister in Gujarat, he says there is widespread spreading in WhatsApp and etc. He says GST is not possible in India. So why GST is not possible in India? The Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister saying at that moment of time, because there is a very, very important concept is missing at that time. At that time, the central government is dominating the states and saying forget about. And we have to change the constitution like this, that we will go for the ideal GST. So what is ideal GST? The one government, the central government has a dominating power, and he will impose tax on the goods and services and collect it and distribute to various states. कहते forget about कि we don't want to be a housewives. कि okay, you decide कि कब करेंगे, कहाँ करेंगे, हमें पूछ के खर्चा करना पड़ेगा. We want financial independence, like today is happening. Every woman want to work for the sake of financial independence or for some purposes. So I mean, at that moment of time, the big question was कि GST, ideal GST is not possible in India during these discussions. now the things have started कि like there are certain states who are the developed states, we'll say that developed state. There are certain states, we will call it a Bimaru states. You have heard the definition of Bimaru state, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, etc., etc. There is a definition in Bimaru states. So those states, advanced states, are manufacturing, and there are certain states who are consuming. So in this GST, they said that for creating a common market, we have to go up with this CST. And government once reduced the rate from CST from 5%. You must have heard this. The 5% was the rate at some moment of time, and it has been reduced to 2% just to phase it out. And at that moment of time, the central government said that we will compensate to the losing states of the CST, but still you can have in parliament learning some of the states not get the compensation of reducing the CST. So there is a trust deficit between the states on this taxing. So states were not ready about this. Okay, you impose taxes and this reduction and phase out of the CST. So what the state wants? भाई ये पॉसिबल नहीं है. ओरिजिनेटिंग स्टेट, जो स्टेट प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है, उसको तो टैक्स मिलना ही मिलना चाहिए, चाहे टैक्स कहीं भी कंज्यूम हो. तो इसका सॉल्यूशन निकल के आया, इसका सॉल्यूशन ये निकल के आया जीएसटी में. अभी हम यहीं ये बहुत सारे कंसेप्ट डिस्कस कर रहे हैं जो हम आगे गोइंग फॉरवर्ड हम कहेंगे. एक कंसेप्ट ये निकल के आया कि भाई ठीक है, हम इसको फेज आउट करते हैं क्योंकि कॉमन मार्केट क्रिएट करना है, ये एक इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट ऑफ जीएसटी का. इसके बिना जीएसटी पॉसिबल नहीं है. तो उन्होंने, सेंटर ने कहा कि भाई जीएसटी में जो भी लॉसेस होगा उन स्टेट्स का, बेस्ड ऑन द करंट रेवेन्यू ऑफ द स्टेट्स, वी विल कंपनसेट द स्टेट्स. तो पहले इन्होंने कहा 50% करेंगे, उन्होंने कहा नहीं करते. फिर उन्होंने कहा 75% कर देंगे 2 साल तक, उन्होंने कहा नहीं करते. फिर उन्होंने कहा भाई चलो मानोगे नहीं, मतलब चलो ठीक है, हम 50% की जगह 100% कंपनसेट करेंगे लॉस ऑफ रेवेन्यू टिल हाउ मेनी ईयर्स? 5 ईयर्स. सो दूसरा प्रॉब्लम जो था स्टेट्स का, ये रिजॉल्व हुआ कि भाई पहला रिजॉल्व हुआ दोनों लोग टैक्स लगाएंगे, दोनों लोग करेंगे. दूसरा रिजॉल्व हुआ कि भाई कोई भी लॉसेस होंगे उसके लिए हम जिम्मेदार नहीं है, क्योंकि तुम कर रहे हो शुरुआत, तुम जिम्मेदार हो, एंड यू हैव टू कंपनसेट इट. एंड फ्रेंड्स, बिलीव मी, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एग्रीड, द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एग्रीड immediately, because you know कि after implementation of GST, one can understand and see there is a wide inefficiency into the system, present system. There is a lot of leakage into the system. In some of the states, the leakage is to the tune of their tax collection. So if this GST being implemented, so this all inefficiency and leakage will be vanished or will come down a little. So there will not be a tax loss to anybody. That the central government is sure of, very sure of. So this thing also being addressed. Now what next? Okay, वो कहें कि भाई कुछ स्टेट्स में हमारा ऐसा होगा कि भाई हमें राइट मिलना चाहिए अपनी कमोडिटीज पे टैक्स लगाने के लिए. जब टैक्स रेट की बात आई, क्योंकि हम उन्हीं चैलेंजेस की बात कर रहे हैं, एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल चैलेंजेस की बात की, एक हमने रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग की बात की. रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग में सब लोग अपना अपना टैक्स लगाएंगे, रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग का क्वेश्चन खत्म हो गया. थर्ड बात हुई कि भाई टैक्स स्ट्रक्चर क्या होना चाहिए. टैक्स स्ट्रक्चर हम डिस्कस करेंगे कि भाई, क्योंकि ये डिसाइड हो गया कि जीएसटी जो लगेगा वो स्टेट अलग लगाएंगे जीएसटी, सेंट्रल अलग लगाएगा जीएसटी, तो 2 ड्यूअल जीएसटी में हम जाएंगे. तो ये भी डिसाइड हो गया. थर्ड आया कि टैक्स रेट्स क्या होंगे. जब टैक्स रेट्स की बात हुई तो यू नो एवरीवेयर इन द स्टेट देयर इज सो मेनी थिंग्स. अगर आप यहाँ से चालू हो जाएं, हरियाणा से निकल के दिल्ली जाएं, दिल्ली से निकल के पंजाब जाएं, पंजाब से निकल के आगे बढ़ें या उधर साउथ की तरफ जाएं, देयर इज अ वाइड डिस्पैरिटीज इन द थिंकिंग, पीपल अंडरस्टैंडिंग, उनके रहने के तरीके, उनकी अर्निंग्स, देयर इज अ वेरी वाइड डिफरेंसेस. सो स्टेट वांट्स के टैक्स के लिए भी हमें राइट मिलना चाहिए कि भाई किसी चीज़ पे, किसी कमोडिटी पे अगर हम टैक्स लगाएं तो वो होना चाहिए. तो उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से उन्होंने कहा कि भाई नथिंग डूइंग, कि टैक्स रेट के लिए हमें कुछ ऐसा एक रास्ता निकालना पड़ेगा सो दैट कि ये टैक्स रेट यूनिफॉर्म रहे प्रोडक्ट टू प्रोडक्ट और सर्विसेज टू सर्विस. अगर मल्टीपल रेट चालू हो जाएंगे तो हम तो बहुत दूर चले जाएंगे जीएसटी से. सो दे हैव नाउ कम अप विद कि ओके, दे आर ओनली 5 rates or 4 rates. So there are 5 rates. One is a zero tax, second is the 5% tax, and third is the दो स्टैंडर्ड रेट निकाले इन्होंने 12% का और 18% का, एंड सिन रेट और द हाईएस्ट रेट इज 40%. सो इस रेट के लिए भी डिसीजन हो गया. सो अब आता है कि भाई इसका कंप्लायंसेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कैसे करेंगे हम. भाई स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के अलग एम्प्लॉइज हैं, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के अलग एम्प्लॉइज हैं, तो वो कहते हैं कि मतलब अब ये डिस्कशन निकल के आया कि भाई कैसे हम इसको एडमिनिस्टर करें. स्टेट का डोमिनेंस इस बात में था कि भाई हम तो अपने टैक्स को तो करेंगे, तुम्हारे को भी करेंगे, बताओ कैसे करें. तो ये बड़ा इशू निकल के आ रहा था. गवर्नमेंट ने सोचा कि एक कस्टमर बेचारा या एक बिजनेसमैन जो एजेंट हमारे लिए काम कर रहा है, उसके दुख दर्द दूर करने के लिए हम जीएसटी को लेके आ रहे हैं. तो कैसे ऐसा कर लें कि एक तरफ से स्टेट उसको पकड़े, एक तरफ से सेंटर उसको पकड़े, तो बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगी टैक्स को इंप्लीमेंट करना. तो इसके लिए एक सॉल्यूशन निकाला फ्रेंड्स. अभी वो सॉल्यूशन इस शेप में आया है. ये एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग बनी है जीएसटी काउंसिल में कि भाई इसको कैसे करेंगे. उन्होंने कहा कि भाई एक एसएससी को एक ही अथॉरिटी डील करेगी. हम ये पहचान लेते हैं कि कैसे करेंगे इसको. तो अभी जो फॉर्मूला अभी प्रेजेंट में अवेलेबल है, क्योंकि इट इज अ प्रोरोगेटिव टू द जीएसटी काउंसिल टू डिसाइड कि भाई किस किस को करेगा. अभी फॉर्मूला ये है कि एक एसएससी को एक ही अथॉरिटी एडमिनिस्टर करेगी फॉर बोथ द टैक्सेस, सेंट्रल जीएसटी एंड स्टेट जीएसटी. सो उन्होंने जो फॉर्मूला लगाया कि अप टू 1.5 करोड़, जिनका लास्ट ईयर में टर्नओवर अप टू 1.5 करोड़ रहा है, उन लोगों को 90% केसेस स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स के पास चले जाएंगे. 10% केसेस जो सेंट्रल के बाबू खाली ना बैठे रहे, 10% केसेस हम उनको दे देंगे. सो डिवीजन हो गया अप टू 1.5 करोड़ का. 90% विल रिमेन टू द स्टेट्स and 10% will go to the central authorities. So what about the other than those more than 1.5? So कहते more than 1.5 वालों को हम मिलके 50-50% बांट लेंगे और फिर उनको एडमिनिस्टर करेंगे. बॉडी एक ही होगी. कैसे बांटेंगे? कोई ना कोई फॉर्मूला निकालेंगे वो. दिस फॉर्मूला इज नॉट इन अ पब्लिक डोमेन राइट नाउ, बट दिस इज सर्टेन कि वन एसएससी विल बी एडमिनिस्टर्ड बाय ओनली one authority, not the dual authority of the dual taxes. So ये भी उन्होंने एक रास्ता निकाल लिया. तो अब बचा क्या? ये जो बड़ी 4 प्रॉब्लम्स थी वो रिजॉल्व हो गई. अब उस बचने के लिए कुछ नहीं बचा. तो सब लोगों ने एग्री करके कहा कि जीएसटी को अब इंप्लीमेंट करते हैं. बिल पास हुआ, सारी चीजें हुई. तो यहां तक कि ये जर्नी इस तरीके से हुई. अब थोड़ा सा जीएसटी पे अपने प्रोविजंस में जाने से पहले फ्रेंड्स हम 10-15 पे टी के लिए रुकेंगे. तो उससे पहले मैं थोड़ा सा एक पार्ट जीएसटी ऑन द ग्लोब क्या है कंसेप्ट, देन आफ्टर टी सेशन वी विल हैव चलो जीएसटी की ओर. सो व्हाट इज देयर इन द वर्ल्ड वाइड में अगर हम देखते हैं कि ग्लोब में क्या है जीएसटी का इशू. So friends, tax is the only thing which is omnipresent apart from God. Without tax, nothing. गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स चाहिए, पब्लिक वेलफेयर के लिए चाहिए, नो डाउट अबाउट दिस. टैक्स किसने देना है? मैं इनडायरेक्ट, जब मैं टैक्स की बात करता हूं तो इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स की है एट दिस फोरम. टैक्स किसने पे करना है? कस्टमर ने करना है. वर्ल्ड वाइड यही चीजें, ये कंसेप्ट हमने समझ लिए हैं कि भाई गवर्नमेंट टैक्स लेगी, कस्टमर टैक्स देगा, बिजनेस एंटिटीज उसको कोऑर्डिनेट करेंगी और कंसल्टेंट उनको वो करेंगे. इसी प्रीटेस्ट पे वर्ल्ड वाइड जीएसटी का कंसेप्ट चल रहा है. तो जीएसटी गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज टैक्स इज अ वैल्यू एडेड टैक्स दैट इज ऑल्सो प्री अजम्पशन. एवरीवेयर जहां भी जीएसटी बात करें, इट इज अ वैल्यू एडिशन टैक्स एज अ कंसेप्ट. तो अब 165 कंट्रीज में, यू नो, 80% of the world countries is already under GST. So GST is not something a new word. It is a very old word. Worldwide, we are quite behind it. First time around 50 42 years back, the country has adopted, or more than 50 years, most of the European countries have adopted this GST, goods and services and VAT concept. So it is not a new word. So जब हमने इंडिया में अपने जीएसटी से रिलेटेड लॉज बनाए तो ऑब्वियसली हमारे पास कुछ ऐसा नहीं था कि कहाँ से देखें, कैसे करें, क्या करें, जो कभी रहता भी नहीं है हमारे पास में, क्योंकि हम बाद में ही आते हैं तो सारी चीज़ें जो कुछ हो चुकी होती हैं तो वी हैव अ प्रेसिडेंट. सो हमारा होता है कि हम पिक एंड चूज करते हैं अच्छी अच्छी चीज़ें और फिट कर लेते हैं अपने सिस्टम में, सो दैट कि गवर्नमेंट, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली इट्स ए प्रोरोगेटिव ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, कस्टमर से तो कभी पूछा नहीं जाता ना. एक विंडो डाली जाती है कि भाई ठीक है अपने कमेंट्स दे दो, पर वो कमेंट्स कौन देता है कौन नहीं देता, कितने इनकॉर्पोरेट होते हैं, बट एनी हाउ द प्रोसेस इज क्वाइट हेल्दी. सो जीएसटी का लॉ बनाने के लिए हमारे पास कहीं जाने की जरूरत नहीं थी, बस एक कंप्यूटर पर बैठ के हम लॉ बना सकते थे. और गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया, गवर्नमेंट ने किया कि भाई ठीक है कंप्यूटर पे से तो मिल जाएगा, लेकिन बनाएगा कौन. तो उस बनाने के लिए बहुत सारी एम्पावरमेंट कमेटी के अंडर में बहुत सारी सब कमेटीज बनाई गई और उन सब कमेटीज को दिया गया कि भाई तुम अपने ड्राफ्ट करो. तो जब जीएसटी का फर्स्ट ड्राफ्ट आया था उसमें आप देखना सर्विसेज से रिलेटेड, तो मोस्टली जो प्रेजेंट सर्विस टैक्स का जो बिल वो एक्ट है 80% तो वही कट एंड पेस्ट था, कॉपी. कई जगह तो आपको ये लगेगा कि उन्होंने जीएसटी की जगह सर्विस टैक्स ही लिखा हुआ था. देयर आर एटलीस्ट 2 प्लेसेस जहां जीएसटी की जगह सर्विस टैक्स ही लिखा हुआ था. तो हमारे पास ये जो वर्ल्ड वाइड जब जीएसटी की बात करते हैं तो जीएसटी में 3 कंसेप्ट निकल के आते हैं. एक कंसेप्ट निकल के आता है कि भाई जैसे हमने एक आइडियल जीएसटी के बारे में बात की थी ना. व्हाट इज आइडियल जीएसटी? आइडियल जीएसटी इज द वन व्हेन टैक्स इज लेविड बाय ए वन अथॉरिटी at a uniform rate, at a uniform basis on the goods and services collected by it and distributed to the other provinces and the states. So ये हो गया सिंगल जीएसटी, सेंट्रल जीएसटी. स्टेट जीएसटी एक कंसेप्ट और निकल के आया हमारे यहाँ, तो दोनों वो निकल के. स्टेट जीएसटी में क्या होता है कि वो कहते हैं कि सेंट्रल यानी यूनियन कहता है कि फेडरेशन कहता है कि भाई मेरे को नहीं पता, आप मैं यूनिफॉर्मिटी दे दूंगा आपको, प्रेसिडेंट दे दूंगा, लॉ ड्राफ्ट कर देंगे, लेकिन यू इम्पोज एंड कलेक्टेड लेवी एंड कलेक्टेड टैक्स एंड गिव समथिंग फॉर माय पर्पसेस, जो मेरे उसमें है. तो बड़ी सिंपल सी बात है, उन्होंने कहा भाई यूनियन सेंटर ऐसा कर ले या स्टेट ऐसा कर ले. तो ऑब्वियसली हमारे इंडिया में दोनों ही काम नहीं होने थे ना. तो सेंटर को ये भरोसा था कि स्टेट्स मेरे को टैक्स दे देंगे मेरे कामों के लिए, जबकि मेरे पास पावर ज्यादा है ना. ये था कि स्टेट्स को कि सेंटर दे देगा मेरे को. तो इसलिए हम ड्यूअल जीएसटी की तरफ गए. तो ड्यूअल जीएसटी में होता है कि कॉन्करेंटली बोथ स्टेट्स एंड सेंट्रल विल इम्पोज लेवी टैक्सेस एंड कलेक्ट दीज टैक्सेस एंड कीप दीज टैक्सेस इन देयर पॉकेट, लाइक previously we are doing. Previously we are, center is levying certain taxes, state is levying certain taxes, collected it and used as per their wishes. So the same thing is going to happen. But अब issue ये आया कि कौन कौन से, तो अभी हम वर्ल्ड वाइड में जीएसटी में ये 3 हैं ड्यूअल कंसेप्ट. तो इसमें कंट्रीज के लिए मोस्ट ऑफ द कंट्रीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड हैज अडॉप्टेड द फर्स्ट कंसेप्ट, द सेंट्रल जीएसटी कंसेप्ट. क्योंकि बहुत सारे कंट्रीज ऐसे हैं, छोटे कंट्रीज हैं जहां बहुत ज़्यादा प्रोविंसेस नहीं है, जहां बहुत ज़्यादा स्टेट्स नहीं है, तो उन लोगों ने किया. लेकिन कनाडा इज अ बेटर एग्जांपल फॉर अस टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हाउ विल गो अबाउट. क्योंकि कनाडा में दे आर सो मेनी प्रोविंसेस, और कनाडा में तो एक स्टेज पे यहां तक हुआ था कि प्रोविंसेस में पर्टिकुलरली रेफरेंडम कराया गया था कि वेदर वी शुड गो फॉर जीएसटी और नॉट. तो जब जीएसटी वहां चल रहा था वे बैक इन 1991, the Canada is under GST and Canada is adopting all 3 forms of GST, क्योंकि everywhere the politicians are the same. तो वहां भी वही इश्यूज हो रहे थे कि भाई मैं करूंगा, मैं लगाऊंगा, मैं नहीं दूंगा, ये नहीं दूंगा. तो उनको एक कंसेप्ट, जब हम अपना कंसेप्ट डिस्कस करेंगे आईजीएसटी वाला, उनको वो कंसेप्ट उस समय पता नहीं था. दैट इज वेरी यूनिक फॉर द इंडियन माइंड्स. अगर उनको वो पता होता उस समय तो शायद वो उसको अप्लाई कर लेते, हो सकता है अब कर लें. We will discuss this concept later on after the tea. So the Canada is adopting all the 3 forms of GST. Central, all the provinces of Canada are levying and collecting GST and sharing with the states. Even the federal is also imposing GST and sharing with the states who have participated into it, and they are also imposing the dual GST, like India is doing. So this is an example of Canada, the harmonization tax and all those things. And European Union, it's a conglomerate of 28 independent countries. For the sake of simplicity, for the sake of this thing, they have done this VAT implementation. Here it is called VAT, not GST. So VAT is being implemented based on the unified tax on the goods and services to be administered, to be given a law by the European Union, and is to be levied and collected by, based on this particular standard formula, by the different member countries. So this has been done in the European Union, and in Singapore is a small country. It is under GST in 1994. Australia is again a federation. So here is a unified, the central GST is there, and the Australian authority, revenue authority, is collecting taxes on a uniform basis, 10%, 12%, 15%, and distributing to the states. And the other one is New Zealand in 1986. You know, the GST concept was so old. So most of the countries is the criteria of adopting GST, and now we come at a stage of the act. Let us see a framework of the act, and these are the certain taxes. These are the certain taxes which is being subsumed into GST. बड़ा ओल्ड चीज है कि भाई सेंट्रल एक्साइज चला गया, जो भी स्टेट के एक टैक्स के बारे में मैं बोलना चाहूंगा कुछ कि एक्साइज ड्यूटी लेविड अंडर मेडिकल एंड टॉयलेटरीज प्रिपरेशन एक्ट. कैन समबडी टेल व्हाट इज दिस एक्ट? Basically, this is an act which is administered certain goods which have a content of liquor, type of elements, liquor, afim, etc. So there is a special act because the right to collect tax on such particular item is that with the state, but this tax, for the sake of uniformity, is being, like CST, is being administered by the, is being drafted by the center and implemented, levied and collected by the states. So this is a unique feature of this act. So this is being also, मनोज जी का एक क्वेश्चन था कि भाई ये है कि नहीं इसमें. एंड एडिशनल ड्यूटी वही CBT एंड SAD, सर्विस टैक्स एंड ऑल सरचार्ज एंड सेसेस. एंड स्टेट में भी एक बार देख लेते हैं. वैट, स्टेट वैट, सेल टैक्स, जहां भी सेल टैक्स है, सेंट्रल सेल टैक्स, परचेज टैक्स. There are three other small element is the entertainment tax, luxury tax, entry tax, and tax on lotteries, betting, etc., and gambling. So these are the taxes to be subsumed into this. So now we just see what is the framework as of now. So framework, GST framework is this. There is a CGST Act, comprises of 21 chapters, 174 sections and 3 schedules, which is become act now. And SGST Act, it is a bill, it is being put forward to the state assemblies, is to be passed by the various state assemblies, but it is a copy, it is basically a so the preamble of this central act. And IGST, will talk IGST, what is IGST, UTGST, and GST Compensation Act, states compensation to states bill, we will see what is this. And there is a 11 draft rules which are in the public domain, is approved by the GST Council, or discussed by the GST Council, is to be approved by the GST Council. With this framework in mind, after a tea, we will have a session Chalo GST ki or. So friends, let us have a break of 10 minutes for GST, for tea, and then we'll discuss GST. Thank you so much.